When you're demolishing a house, there has to be a certain flexibility to planning and development. You might find an issue hidden under previous repairs, or discover that a particular approach won't work because of cost or compatibility issues. Sometimes the problem is more aesthetic in nature, but to overcome it means much more work than to accommodate it. In our case, the objective is to develop an open concept for the interior of our farmhouse. Previous renovations have revised the floor plan to add new rooms or expand the structure. The most recent expansion added this small utility room onto the living room. Other expansions divided up or rearranged living spaces to increase the capacity of the house. This has reduced the amount of space per room, but it's also added more entrances and exits to the structure. In the living room, this mentality resulted in two different doors leading outside. The main door here that points directly onto the front yard, and this side door, which leads out to a side porch with stairs that also point out to the main road. The end result is two front doors within 10 feet of each other in the same room. Someone seems to have realized this was excessive, so the side porch was walled in and converted to a utility room. The space is far too small for use as anything but storage, or maybe a compact office. Either way, we can't make proper use of it, and it's too far away from a bedroom to make for a proper closet. It's functionally useless, so we've decided to knock it down and tear out the underlying porch. When we go to install siding, this former front door will get framed in and walled off. Like the other walls in the house, it's made of mortar and concrete block, with a wood-framed and metal-sheeted roof. The metal is still worth something at the recycle plant, so step one will be to extract the sheeting and set it aside. One advantage of metal roofing is that it can go down on top of the previous asphalt roofing materials if they exist. This is what the previous installer did, and it means that the old sheeting can come off as easy as it went on. It was at this point that the neighbor's turkey decided to pay us a visit. We don't know what prompts her to come over here, but she'll hang out for a while, preening for attention, and then leave. She's almost done molting, but her attitude hasn't recovered from the process. I should take this time to state that none of us know anything about turkeys, and that means we're not cued into the subtleties of turkey peer bonding. We know that a redneck means that it's angry, but that's about it. She'll hover around us for a while with this regal pose, and then leave. That was until today. Oh, man. Hey!
Baby!
Hey!
We'll go towards the machine and maybe she will later. Baby!
I'm not sure what made her attack my mom, but she really wasn't committed to it and was easily chased off. This turkey was hand-raised around people as a pet, so we don't regard it the way we would wild turkeys that wander around the forests here. That step being complete, our next challenge was to figure out the best way to remove the roof and sidewalls. Knocking out walls with a tractor isn't a terrible idea, but you do have to be aware of the implications for the rest of the structure. It's important not to hit abutting walls into each other or manipulate connected elements in a way that can damage parts of the house you want to keep. Concrete block is extremely strong, with very high insulative quality, but it's also very brittle. It can only handle compressive loads, any bending or stretching, and it breaks, much like regular concrete. With the roof now on the ground, breaking it up by hand is much easier. Our tractor can't lift the entire weight on its own, and the roof section is too large to fit easily in the dump trailer, so this is a necessary step. the wood is well worn, and so loaded with nails that it's not fit for use as firewood, nor can it be repurposed for other things, so it's off to the dump on the next load. The final step is to dismantle this porch. It's not part of the house foundation, so it can be detached without threatening the structure, so long as we're careful. We didn't film the first part of this process. The momentum of the morning got away from us. The walls were made of thinner material that was easily manipulated. But the porch siding was done with full concrete block. This is laid in place, and then the center is filled with soft dirt, capped over with large stones. Concrete is then poured over the top of the whole mess to create a hard floor, which is smooth finished and allowed to set. The end result is very sturdy and well supported, able to bear heavy loads and withstand significant abuse over years. Removing it required a selection of tools, including a trench bar, sledgehammer, tractor, and hammer drill. It's very labor intensive, largely because we don't have the heavy equipment that could just pry this apart. Hammering and prying are good for carving out the walls and allowing the dirt to settle. This undermines the floor and allows for strategic use of a tractor bucket to break it into large pieces. These are then further broken by hand until the mass is small enough to be moved by machine. This process continues until the outer walls and most of the flooring are dragged away, leaving only the staircase. The stairs were a rough bit of work, but a combination of tractor lifts and hammer blows got things sorted out, and we were able to get everything loaded on the trailer for later disposal. Our plan is to delete this doorway once we have the siding and windows figured out, a process which we still need to do some planning for. We've got the bulk of the work completed, which frees me up to start working on a longer running task inside the building that will be covered in my next video. That's all I have for today, so I'll see you all later.